Pilot 9 Sports proudly presents High School Football 84. Tonight, the Warren Western Reserve Raiders take on the Warren Harding Panthers. Pilot 9 Sports proudly presents High School Football 84. Tonight, the Warren Western Reserve Raiders take on the Warren Harding Panthers.
Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren, Ohio. Another Mahoning Valley Cablevision Pilot 9 Sports presentation. And a pleasant good day to you, sports fans. I'm John Caparenas. Right next to me, Harry Patis. And along with our Pilot 9 remote staff, we're going to be bringing you all of the action of one of the key contests year in and year out in Northeast Ohio. The annual clash between the two Warren public schools. Warren Harding, the home team this year, and their opponents, Warren Western Reserve. The Raiders coming into the ballgame under Phil Anarella, 5-4 on the 1984 campaign, and the same thing with the Warren Harding Panthers under Frank Thomas, also a 5-4 mark. But Harry Pettis, without too much imagination, you can easily see both teams coming into this ballgame with either one loss or just two losses over the course of the season.
That's true. They've had great contests throughout. It's been a good season for both teams, and as you said, it could have been a lot better, but I think both teams have to be satisfied. And coming into tonight's game, it's one of those situations where you know, not as much as on the line, but just the fact that they're playing each other has a lot to do with the big rivalry that's come over the years. And if there's any added incentive for Warren Harding, it's the fact that Western Reserves won the last two games.
A lot of excellent ball players on both sides.
Boy, there really are. In fact, I think we can watch for a big play to determine tonight's outcome. That's been the history of this series, and with guys like Willie Perez and on the other side Roselle Richardson, you can anticipate that the big play will have a major factor in this game.
You know, this season, 1984, weather-wise, up through last week, certainly one of the most memorable that we've ever had the privilege of attending. And I know Harry's been covering Ohio high school football since, what, 1923? But at any rate, this week, November has hit Northeast Ohio, and it is a bit brisk.
It is nippy, and, you know, watch for those passes because the receivers haven't been used to this, and it's very difficult to catch the pass after you've been used to the warm weather, and then the fingertips get a little bit icy, and it's tough to hang on. So I think we might see our share of drop passes and a few mistakes as a result of this cold weather.
And what is the key tonight, Harry?
Well, the key, I think, again, in any contest is going to be ball control, but stopping the big play, I think, is going to be the major factor. And the team that comes up with the most big plays and can force the turnovers the most is the team that's going to win.
Okay, we're going to be back to talk with both head coaches. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Trumbull County.
Welcome back to Mollenkopf Stadium. It's Warren Western Reserve's band that's leading off the pregame entertainment, but electricity in the air. We mentioned the evening is just a bit nippy, a lot nippier than most people are used to, and that says the story right there. And we can say all the words we want, but when these two Warren teams go at each other, there's no question that there's going to be a great contest and tremendous excitement at Mollenkopf Stadium. Let's take a look at Warren Western Reserve's starting lineup. And we'll start with the quarterback, the person that Warren Harding is going to have to contend with if they're to be successful against the Raiders tonight. It's Roselle Richardson. He will wear number 11. He's a 6'2", 197-pound senior. At wingback is number 10, Jay Sprague. He's a senior at 5'9", 160. Running back, Steve Henderson, number 23, 5'8", 160, and a senior. At the other wingback is Tim Wade. He'll go on the wingback reverse. You'll see him run the ball anywhere from about 5 to 7 times. He's a junior at 6 foot, 170 pounds. The center this evening is number 62, Tom Heckathorn. He's a junior at 5'10", 220. The two guards are 68, Larry Hoffman, a junior, 6 foot, 185, and Wilson Stoudemire, a senior, 5'9", 202 at the other offensive guard. The tackles are number 76, Keith Golar, a junior at 6'2", 226, and number 77, Dan Lagerber, who's 5'9", 200 pounds and a senior. The tight end is Brian Mead, number 88, a 6 foot, 160 pound senior, and 89, the split end, John Richardson, and a favorite target of Roselle Richardson, Richardson, who comes in at 6'1", 170, and a senior. Phil Annarella excited about tonight's contest. John Caporanis had the opportunity to talk to Coach Annarella, and here's what he had to say.
Talking with Phil Annarella, head coach of the Warren Western Reserve Raiders. Phil, last week's win against Boardman, how important is it to your ball club?
John, I think it was a very big game for us because of the fact that, you know, coming into this game 4-5 with a 5-game losing streak would have been a little bit difficult. We needed that win to kind of pick the kids up and show them that we did have the capability of playing good football again, and we practiced that way last week, and thank God it worked out that way. We played pretty well for the most part, and you know, when we play pretty well, we can be in there with anybody, and I think it was very important to win for us, to give us a little added incentive coming into this game.
Here we are, the last game of the 1984 season. From a head coach's viewpoint, what has been the most pleasing aspect of your ball club this year, Phil?
That's a tough question, John, but I think probably I would say the way the kids held together through a lot of adversity. You know, when you're 4-0 with a predominantly young team and playing a lot of young kids, and everybody starts getting their hopes up in the community and everywhere else, and things all of a sudden take an about face, and we lose 4 straight, things could have very well fallen apart altogether. And we played tough. A couple of games we lost, I think we played well against Fitch. We played excellently against Fitch. And Mooney, we played well. We just had a couple of bad breaks go against us pass-wise. And I really think that the kids' ability to still pull together and play as a team despite all that, and keep after things and win that game last week and hopefully come out and win this one tonight, despite the inexperience and all the injuries that we've incurred. So I think that would be the most satisfying aspect.
Okay, let's put the shoe on the other foot. Would the injuries be the most disappointing aspect of the season?
I would have to say absolutely. What we knew coming in, though, John, and I had told people early that we had to stay healthy to even consider having a really good season. And we kept our fingers crossed, but we must not have crossed them long enough or tight enough, because really overall this is the worst I think we've ever been injury-wise. We've had a couple of broken wrists early, and then when they got back we lost a couple of other kids, and we've had 5-6 starters out of the game at times. And when you've only got 45, 48 kids on a team to begin with, it really is devastating. So not using that as a crutch, I think it's hurt us very much. And again, the positive thing is that the kids held together, and the kids we had to put in there and play for the injured kids picked up the slack and did an adequate job and kept us in every game.
Okay, let's focus our attention on your opponents tonight, Warren Harding. How important is it for you to shut off the passing game of Harvey Keller?
I think it's very important because they've got great receivers, and I know that Keller will get the ball there to him. I'm more concerned with, though, their running game. I think that knowing Coach Thomas, my guess is he's going to come out trying to run the football. They're much bigger than us on the offensive line. They're huge. They're probably the biggest team in the Still Valley, possibly. And, you know, they're going to – I'm just thinking they may just come out and try to power us the way they've done the last couple of weeks. That's what they did to Ursuline, and they did that last week on a first drive to Fitch. And those teams have bigger personnel defensively than we do. I'll be surprised if he doesn't, but of course we've worked hard on the pass too, because obviously he realizes that if the running game isn't going, he better have that passing attack squared away, and he's got good enough people to really hurt us with the passing attack. So they're a well-balanced team, and we have to be prepared all the way around, John.
What is the key to your ball club winning, Phil?
Ball control. We've got to do what they want to do, which is keep the ball away from their offense. And if that's possible, we'll be in a heck of a ball game here. We've got to do it with a pretty balanced attack. To tell you that we're going to try to line up and power them would be absolutely ridiculous. We can't do that. We know that. We've got to finesse them and mix in a run and pass and try to keep them off balance, John, which is what we've done in the games we've played well in this year. And if we can do that, we'll have a good game tonight.
Weather-wise, is that going to have any effect on the ball?
Oh, thank God it's dry. Thank God it's dry, because on a wet field like last year, again, with their size, it really puts us at a disadvantage. We're not very big line-wise, and now we've got some capabilities with a dry field and a dry ball, and I'm sure you're going to see us air it out a little bit.
Always a pleasure, Phil, and best of luck to you and Warren
Western. Thanks for everything this season, John. You guys have been super. Thanks very much.
Well, Phil Annarella explaining to you that it's going to be finesse versus power, probably not too far from the truth. And now let's take a look at the power part of this lineup. The Warren G. Harding High School Panthers. At fullback, number 9, Willie Perez, and we mentioned he's explosive. He showed it against Massillon and throughout the year, and very capable of the big play. He's a 5'8", 167-pound senior. The quarterback is number 12, Harley Keller, 6'1", 176, and a senior. Wingback, number 15, Reuben Osborne. He'll get the ball regularly, 5'9", 159, and a senior. David Arnold, one of the prime receivers and one of the fine athletes in this town for a long time, number 16. He's a 6'4", 183, and a senior. Wingback, Alan Caldwell, number 33, 5'8", 145, also a senior. And split end, number 37, Robert Murray, 5'6", 140, and a junior. At the center spot, it'll be number 50, Jim D'Annunzio, 6'2", 161, and a senior. Two guards are 54, John Church at 5'11", 185, and a senior. And number 60, Mike Bell, 5'8", 175, and a senior. Number 75, Travis Davis, will hold down one tackle. He's 6'3", 250, and a senior. And then number 76, Donnell White, 5'10", 250, and a senior, will be at the other tackle. Frank Thomas had the opportunity also to talk with John Caporanos prior to the contest, and you're going to be seeing some gold jerseys flying in here as the Warren Western Reserve Raiders were doing some practice, throwing some errant passes, and here's how that interview went.
We're talking with Frank Thomas, head coach of the Warren Harding Panthers. Frank, November has hit Northeast Ohio.
I tell you what, it sure has. It's pretty chilly out here right now.
Is it going to have any effect on tonight's ball game, do you think?
No, I don't think so, other than maybe for the fans and maybe the players that aren't in a game. It's going to be cold to watch it, but I think they come together as a group of individuals. It's fun. It's pleasurable for me to see as a football coach, and I think our staff, I think our players feel it too. And I think we've got a fine group of kids here that have really come together. They've really stuck together through some real trying times, and you know, there were some games we felt we should have won, we didn't win, and you know, you could have very easily, you know, gone down and just not come back and showed any more class or pride or whatever, but our kids aren't made of that, and we just keep coming back, and I think, you know, they've gone into every game feeling that we could win, we could be very competitive, we could win a football game, and I think, you know, attitude is one of the big things I think that's really come a long way for us.
Okay, let's go to the other side. Coach's viewpoint. What one factor would you change if you had in your power outside of the scores? What was the big disappointment for you?
I think you know, we came into this season and one of our primary objectives was really try to get to be more productive offensively, and I think that's probably still been one of the disappointments to us, is that we haven't been you know, as explosive offensively as we would have liked to have been, or maybe been as consistent as we would have liked to have been. We've been explosive at times. We've got explosive players, but I'm talking more of just a week by week consistent, you know, offense that moves a football that we can depend on. It's been that's going to be our sore spot for this year. It's got to be something we've got to, you know, take as a goal for next year. We've got to become better offensively.
When you sit down and look at Warren Western Reserve, how important is it containing Roselle Richardson from getting away from your defense?
I think that's the whole football game. I'll be very blunt about it. You know, I as a coach, and I know, you know, their coaching staff, and everybody's going to tell you that one player cannot, you know, make a football team, and I totally disagree in this case. I think he's probably one of the finest athletes in Northeastern Ohio. I know that, you know, he on anybody's ball club behind center is the kind of kid that can make things happen. I think the game comes down basically just flat out that we have got to stop Roselle Richardson and contain him in order to win a football game. The last 2 years we've been ahead of them in both football games, and we've lost both football games, and if you go back and check the stats and find out who was carrying the ball on 3rd and long and 4th and long, you'll find out that number 11 had it, and he's done it to us 2 years in a row, and I just hope it doesn't happen the 3rd time.
You're in your 3rd year as head coach of Warren Harding. Is this the best ball club you've had?
I think it is thus far, yeah. I really think our kids have come a long way. Defensively, I think we're much more physically stronger than we have been the last 2 years, overall strength. And I think, you know, that's probably been the thing that's carried us the most, is our defensive strength and our power, and yet we've been more explosive in the backfield, too. I think that's another big key.
Frank, always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to you in Warren Harding.
All right, thank you.
Well, there's the story from the two coaches, the Warren Harding Band performing in the dark, and we'll be back to bring you the opening kickoff after this. Two fired up up groups of football players. Warren Western Reserve, Warren Harding, one of the great rivalries in the state. They've come together to play in the final regular season game here at Mollenkopf Stadium. Should be a great ball game. It always is when these two get together, and of course each could salvage the other's season, as you might say. Both teams out of the running as far as the Steel Valley Conference is concerned. Warren Harding with a 3-3 mark in the Steel Valley. Warren Western Reserve 2-4. Both teams 5-4 overall. Well, we're ready just about for the kickoff. It'll be the Warren Harding Panthers booting to the Warren Western Reserve Raiders. And here to bring you the play-by-play, as he has done all year, the voice of Pilot 9 Sports, John Caporanis.
Okay, Harry Patis, thank you very much. And again, a pleasant good day to you, sports fans. The Panthers will kick off to open up the ball game. Harley Keller approaches the football, and the 17th meeting between these two ball clubs is underway. At the 23-yard line to the 25. Sean Matlock to the 30. Slips and goes down at about, let's see if they're going to spot his knee down. They are at the 33-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. So that is where the Raiders will put it in play. First down, 10 yards to go. And again, let's go through the offensive backfield for you for Phil Anarella's ball club. The quarterback, Mr. All-Ohio, number 11, Roselle Richardson, 200-pound senior. The running back, number 23, Stevie Henderson, 160-pound senior, averaging 4.5 yards per carry through the course of the campaign. And lining up at the wingback spot, number 44, Tim Wade, a 170-pound junior. Man in motion, Robert Allen. Timmy Wade on the sweep, has blockers 35, Wade 40, Wade 43-yard line. That'll be good enough for the first down of the ball game. So right off the bat, Warren Western Reserve goes around the defensive left side of Warren Harding and picks up an 11-yard pickup on the play. Raiders coming into the ball game, averaging 17 points per contest. Allen flanked to the left side. That is Wade in motion. First and 10 from the 43. Richardson on the look in. Incomplete, intended for John Richardson at the Raider 49-yard line. Good pass coverage that time by number 14 for the Warren Harding Panthers. Tony Waite. Incompleted pass will set up second down, 10 yards to go.
Well, look for Warren Western Reserve to mix it up here early. No question, they're not going to try to power the football by the Panthers. Panthers the bigger team in terms of size, and as we heard Phil Anarella mention, it's going to be a matter of finesse, and they certainly have the guns to do that. Great quickness in that backfield of Warren Western Reserve, and they'll try to exploit that to its fullest.
Second down, 10 yards to go from their own 43-yard line. Roselle Richardson again to throw. Flat pass for Wade, complete. Fumble on the play. Live ball, and I believe it's recovered by Warren Harding. Let's see if they call it a forward pass or not. Very, very close. And Phil Richardson said it was a forward pass, so negate the fumble recovery by the Panthers.
Well, controversy, always a part of this series. We have a controversial play right there. It's just a question of whether it was a pass or a lateral. And the officials right on the play called it an incomplete pass. The officials for tonight's game, I might add, Phil Davidson, the referee, Dwayne Bickford, the umpire. Dave Jones is the linesman. Line judge is Jim Seck, and back judge Bruce Armstrong.
First third down conversion attempt of the ball game. We've played 1 minute into this, the 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve. Allen in motion, Richardson to put it up. Richardson flat pass again to Wade, has blockers. Wade trying to get around. One guy does so, gets up to about the 50, but no more. Dave Arnold coming up to make the stop, but actually making the play for Warren Harding. Tony Wade, who fought off a blocker and slowed down Tim Wade just enough for Arnold to come over to make the stop after about a 6-yard pickup. So that'll set up fourth down and our first punting situation of the ball game with 10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining first quarter.
Cap, we mentioned the officials. I guess we should add also the officials are assigned by the Steel Valley Conference office. And that's the case with any officials in high school, college, you name it. It's the conference office that assigns those people.
Steve Henderson to do the booting. He'll be standing at his own 37-yard line. Good snap from center. Henderson with a high spiraling kick. That'll be taken by Woody Perez at the 20, 25. Perez to the 30. Breaks two tackles, 35. Perez hit at the 35 up to the 37-yard line. What a year that man has had. Woody Perez with a 17-yard return on the play.
Perez, one explosive runner, as we saw him throughout the year, breaking for long punt returns, and of course the memorable 98-yard run, which when he took it in for the touchdown, setting a Warren Harding record at that point.
Henderson with a 31-yard boot, 17-yard return by Wade. 1st and 10 for Warren Harding at their own 36-yard line. That is Reuben Osborne for a couple. Fumble on the play. Let's see. I believe the Raiders have recovered. They have at the Warren Harding 40-yard line. First offensive play of the ball game. The Panthers cough it up, and coming up with a loose football for Warren Western Reserve, number 21 defensive back safety Alan Wade.
Well, excuse me, Cap, you have to wonder, we mentioned the cold weather. The players not used to it this year because this is really the first cold evening, and already we've had what almost was a fumble on the part of Wade on a pass, and there Reuben Osborne coughing it up, and the Raiders with a great field position.
Let's see what Warren Western Reserve does in this situation. 1st and 10 from the Panther 40-yard line. Allen, the man in motion. Richardson to put it up. Richardson going to run with the football. Richardson 35. Richardson 33, out of bounds at about the 31-yard line, and a flag on the play. Flag thrown right at the 30-yard line, so let's see what the infraction is.
It happened just as Richardson was running out of bounds. I don't know if there was an extra shove or perhaps even a clip. I don't know.
It will be clipping. It will be against Warren Western in reserve, and it will negate about an 8-yard pickup by Roselle Richardson. Flag thrown at the 29-yard line. Richardson actually spotted out of bounds at the 32-yard stripe. So the 15-yard walk-off by Phil Davidson will move the Raiders back in the vicinity of the Warren Harding 45-yard line.
Well, that'll take the wind out of your sails. The Raiders with a big recovery of a fumble. Had the ball at the 40. Roselle took him 7 yards, but then the clipping negates that and puts them in 1st and long.
Raiders have won the last 2 contests between these 2 schools. No team has ever won 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's the incentive that the Panthers have, certainly, as if they need incentive against Western Reserve.
1st down, 17 for Warren Western Reserve from the Warren Harding 47, and Richardson falls on the football after again having trouble with that center snap, a problem that has plagued Warren Western Reserve throughout the course of the campaign. Be about a 2-yard loss on the play and set up 2nd down. Let's call it 17 yards to go for Warren Western Reserve.
We mentioned big plays and mistakes. Usually the case when these 2 teams get together, and so far we've had the mistakes, and Western Reserve looking for the big play here.
Panthers, the last time Warren Harding won was back in 1981 under Bob Wool.
I don't know that we've mentioned it, but the series does stand 10-6 in favor of the Raiders.
2nd down, long yardage flag, and we could have a delay penalty. That's exactly what Phil Davidson calls, and that will move the ball back to the Warren Western Reserve 47-yard line. So as you mentioned, Harry, what could have been a big break for Warren Western Reserve suddenly has the Raiders going the other way from which they'd be like to be going.
In a game like this, you don't want to beat yourself, and so far the Raiders successful in that venture because they just made a big play on defense but have done nothing since then. Fumbling the snap, having 2 penalties called against them, and that is how you beat yourself, by making those mistakes, mental or otherwise. So the Raiders want to get their act together here and establish themselves early.
2nd and 23. Ball carrier Henderson into Warren Harding territory down to the Panther 47-yard line. About a 6-yard pickup by Steve Henderson. He comes into the ball game averaging 4.5 per ball game. Number 32 for the Panther defense, George Riddle from his defensive right end spot making the stop. The Warren Western Reserve faced with a 3rd down, about 18-yard to go situation from the Warren Harding 48-yard line.
Raiders have not thrown the ball upfield yet. They've been throwing the flat pass last 3 times.
Quick kick time. Henderson partially blocked. It will hit at the 30 and be batted down at about the 30-yard line. Number 68 for Warren Western Reserve, Larry Hoffman, getting the hand on the football. also a ploy that Phil Anarata has used effectively throughout the course of the campaign. This time the punt only 19 yards, and Warren Harding will start the drive from their own 31-yard line.
Well, the key to that was exactly what you said, Cap. It was partially blocked, and the Panthers not fooled by it, but maybe they were fooled by it, but they got good enough penetration that they were able to get the hand on the football.
Senior quarterback Harley Keller, number 12, on the pitch to Woody Perez with blockers. 35, Perez up to the 38-yard line. About a 7-yard pickup for Woody Perez. He is averaging 5.6 yards per carry on the course of the campaign. 664 yards gained and 116 carries on the campaign. Second down, 3 yards to go for the Warren Harding Panthers. Been a lot of big plays, as you mentioned, throughout this series, Harry Patis. Number 1 when Ross Browner was a senior for Warren Western Reserve. Ball carrier gonna be hit and racked for the loss back at the 35-yard line. Robert Brown, the ball carrier for Warren Harding, but the blood defense of Warren Western Reserve really in on the spot. Number 57 for the Raiders making initial contact. Andre Davey, 170-pound senior, goes to the defensive tackle position.
Well, you talk about this series, and what was amazing about it is the first 2 games were won by Warren Western Reserve. You know, the neophyte school beating the established school, and that really started the rivalry off on the wrong foot as far as the Eastsiders were concerned.
Pass almost intercepted by number 24 for Warren Western Reserve, Derek Kelson, and that man right there last week against Boardman intercepted a pass 2 yards deep in the end zone and took it 102 yards for another school record for Warren Western Reserve.
And there we go with the big play again. That 102-yard interception return, school record. We mentioned Willie Perez had a 98-yard run from scrimmage. It's been a season of big plays for both these teams, and that's what we're looking for here tonight. It hasn't happened so far.
John Church to do the booting. Nice kick by Church. It'll be taken at the 32 by Allen to the 35 up to the 36-yard line. 34-yard punt by John Church, a 3-yard return by Allen, and Warren Western Reserve on the exchange of punts loses about 15 yards, and the Raiders back at their own 35-yard line.
There we see the Steel Valley scores. Just let you read them. Warren Harding 3-3 in the Steel Valley. Warren Western Reserve 2-4. And there you see the comparison.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Raiders. Allen, the man in motion. Richardson gonna be hit, fires the football complete to Allen up at about the 45-yard line. Travis Davis really lowering the boom on Roselle Richardson, but Roselle getting the pass away, completing it. Very close for the second first down of the ball game. They'll be about a half-yard shy. Speaking of big plays, Warren Harding wise, Tyrone Hicks, Stan O'Day, Greg Bumbu. Well, you go down up and down this series, and a lot of fabled names start cropping up out of the pass.
Good trivia questions.
Second down. Close to the first down. Henderson has the first down for Warren Western Reserve as he powers his way up to the 49-yard line. First down number 2 for Warren Western Reserve. Second first down of the ball game. It comes with 5 minutes, 16 seconds remaining first quarter.
There you see Reserve leading the series 10-6. They've lost 2 years in a row. We mentioned that they won the first 2, so everything in between has been even.
Raiders now shifting into the I formation. Now back into the one running back. That is Steve Henderson. Roselle Richardson on the sweep. Going to be hit. Excellent defensive effort by Warren Harding. And coming up to make the stop, the left side cornerback number 23, Kenny Ash. It'll go as about a 7-yard loss on the play. And set up second down and 17 yards to go for the Raiders. Frank Thomas indicated in our pregame chat that containing Roselle Richardson, from his viewpoint, the key to the ballgame.
I think most coaches that played Western Reserve this year said that very thing. And, of course, Roselle was injured for part of the season, missed a couple of games or parts of a couple of games. And he is the key to this Raider attack, no question about that.
2nd and 17 from their own 43-yard line. Field position up to this point belonging to the Raiders. Richardson getting pressure. Flag on the play. Richardson going to scramble. Nice move at the 45. Got him up to the 48-yard line. He literally hurdled one of the Warren Harding ball players, but 2 flags on the play back at the Warren Western Reserve 42-yard line.
I thought I saw some type of illegal use of the hands on the part of the Raiders, so I think it's going to work against them. Boy, what a leap Roselle had on that run, though.
Holding the indication against Warren Western Reserve. So that'll take away about a 6-yard pickup for Richardson, and that is Roselle shaken up on the far sideline. He put a move on one of the Warren Harding ball players, but coaches will tell you anytime you leave your feet, you're leaving yourself susceptible to a hard hit, and that's apparently what happened to Roselle.
He may have come down on it wrong. Didn't look like he got hit real hard.
Well, that'll put some of the burden for the Warren Western Reserve attack on the sophomore quarterback, Mike Reese, who has looked impressive.
Well,
and here comes number 12 from the Warren Western Reserve sideline.
If there is a positive to the Raiders season in this situation, it's the fact that Roselle was hurt and that Reese had some experience. It's not like he's coming in here as a rookie, and when we did see him, he played extremely well.
2nd down, over 30 yards to go for the Raider first down, and Roselle Richardson being helped to the locker room. Running room a little bit for Steve Henderson across the 30 up to the 33-yard line. That'll be about a 5-yard pickup on the play and set up 3rd down. And let's call it 27 yards to go for Warren Western Reserve.
There we see the comparison on offense between these two clubs. Reserve with a slight edge over Harding during the season. And on the other hand, defensively, it's the Panthers with the edge. Harding, look at that, just allowing 634 yards passing.
So 3rd down, long yardage for the Raiders. Sophomore quarterback Mike Reese. Pitch to Henderson. Henderson to the 35, and that is it. 2-yard pickup on the play. That will set up 4th down. Punting situation for the Raiders. With 3 minutes exactly remaining first quarter of the 17th meeting between the two Warren crosstown rivals.
Yeah, one of the important things has already happened. Roselle Richardson's health, of course, has been a little tentative throughout the year, and now being helped at the locker room, that's got to be a psychological blow. On the other hand, the team often can rally around that second-string quarterback, and that's what the Raiders are going to have to do.
End over end kick by Henderson, hitting at the 40, taking a Raider roll inside the 30. Willie Perez, 29, 35, up to the 36-yard line. Perez with a 7-yard return. 33-yard boot by Steve Henderson. Make that a 39-yard boot by Henderson. And a 7-yard return by Perez. Nevertheless, first down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers at their own 36-yard line. And that's basically where Warren Harding has been operating through the majority of the first quarter.
And they haven't been able to move the football. They've only got 8 yards net on the ground.
Sweep to Perez, flag on the play. Perez hit right at the line of scrimmage. Busting up the interference for Warren Western Reserve, number 72, Andre Peterson. Flag on the play, motion the indication against the Panthers. So the Raiders now faced with a situation, either give Warren Harding 2nd down, about 10 yards to go, or 1st down and 15 from back at their own 31-yard line.
Yeah, usually in these cases they take the penalty, and that's exactly what the Raiders will do. Panthers unable to move the football, looking for their first down in this contest. In fact, they've only run 4 offensive plays. And with 2:12 remaining in the first period, it's been a game dominated by the Raider offense, but they really haven't moved the football all that well either. It's been the penalties, though, that's killed the Raiders up to now.
Stacked eye in the backfield, 1st and 15 from their own 31-yard line. Keller to throw. Keller with time. Keller fires deep. Pass is incomplete. A flag on the play. The intended receiver for Warren Harding at the 45-yard line of Warren Western Reserve, number 32, George Riddle. Yet on the offense, got his feet tangled up with one of the reserve defensive men, and he went down before the ball got there. That is going to result in a major infraction against the Raiders.
Yeah, it was Alan Wade, and Riddle got their feet tangled up. And Riddle went down, and the flag went down immediately. And they mark it off 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, wasn't it? Yeah. Pass interference. First down for the Panthers. 3rd in the contest.
1 minute, 49 seconds remaining first quarter. Panthers right now enjoying their best field position of the first quarter.
You get the impression both teams are just a little bit tight. This rivalry, of course, does that to you. And both teams coming out tight, no question about that.
Osborne, halfback option, fires deep, overthrows just about everybody as the ball lands for the incompletion at the 15 of the Raiders. Osborne, of course, last year forced into the starting quarterback spot for Frank Thomas's ball club. Man shaken up for Warren Western Reserve, number 57. That's Andre Davey. But Osborne last year in the 3rd game of the 1983 campaign, when Maurice Reed went down with a busted ankle, forced into that quarterback spot, and that time showing you evidence of the fine throwing arm that he has. Unfortunately, his receiver was about 15 yards upfield from where the ball ultimately landed.
Well, it's not his job to read receivers anymore, I guess. He just unloaded. We did see a good sign of his arm. Boy, that's a bad sign with Davey down for the Raiders. With Roselle Richardson hurt on offense and Davey down on defense. Can ill afford to lose too many of those talents.
Raiders have had more than their share of injuries during the 1984 season. Jerry Rischel attending to the injured Warren Western Reserve ball player.
Up to now, it's been a stalemate. Not the kind of game you really expected. Expected a little more explosiveness, but at the same time, you know, when you look at Warren Harding's defense and Warren Western Reserve's defense throughout the year, they have done a number on their opponents. So trying to move the ball consistently against either one of these defenses would be a pretty difficult task. So far, it just hasn't happened. Penalties have been a major factor in stopping the Western Reserve Raiders. As we look at that, they've had 3 penalties totaling 35 yards. Panthers with just the 1 penalty. But the Panthers, well, let me take that back. It's 4 penalties now as a result of that pass interference against the Raiders. So they're up to 50 yards already here in the first quarter alone. So the penalties, the worst enemy of the Western Reserve Raiders.
That's the superintendent of the Warren City School System, Dr. Robert Fregeese Jr., taking in the festivities. Wonder what sideline he's on, Harry.
I'll bet you he switches whichever one it is at the end of the first half. We have a little oddity here we might want to pass along to you. Number 60, Mike Bell, the center for Warren Harding, and Chris stepdaughter, and their reserve and player for Warren Harding. I wonder who the parents are rooting for.
Bad sign for Warren Western Reserve. Andre Davey helped to the far sideline, not putting anything at all on that injured left leg. Second down, 10 yards to go. Play resumed. The ball at the Warren Harding 46-yard line. Andre Davey, one of the stalwarts for the Blood defenses, will have flags on the play. Travis Davis moving just ahead of the snap. But the loss of Davey certainly another key blow against the Warren Western Reserve. Procedure penalty against the Panthers will move the ball back to the Warren Harding 41-yard line. Up until last week, that team right there just 4 points away from an undefeated season. Losing 1-point verdict, 7-6 to Cardinal Mooney, 7-6 to Boardman, 14-12 to Youngstown East. Second down, 15 yards to go with 1:43 remaining first quarter. Harley Keller to put the ball up. Keller over the middle, complete. 45, 40, down to the 35-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. That's George Riddle again, and no, that's number 82. I'm sorry, that's number 82, Stanley Owens, the wide receiver for Warren Harding, as Riddle does come in off the bench with a play from Frank Thomas. First down wise, number 2 for Warren Harding, and the Panthers with their first scoring threat of the ball game. First and 10 from the Raider 35-yard line. Sweep to Perez, and he is going to be level. Breaks the tackle. 35, 30. Perez down to the 29-yard line, and what a move by Willie Perez. He was literally going down back at the 40-yard line for a 5-yard loss. Somehow managed to break that tackle, broke another one, and wound up picking up 6 yards on the play.
Boy, what a joy to watch Willie Perez. Great second effort there. For a minute, I thought he was going to take it all the way in, because I think the Raiders relaxed when they thought he was down in the backfield, but he never gives up.
He's come out of nowhere, Willie Perez has, and has had an excellent campaign. He has the football, and he is very close to the first down at the Raider 25-yard line. Willie Perez, based on his 1984 season, certainly going into the legendary books of great running backs from the past for Warren Harding. Paul Warfield,
Reedy Thomas,
Tyrone Hicks, Wilbur Boggs,
John Henry Ziegler,
Don Such. And there is the gun indicating the end of the first quarter here at Mollenkopf Stadium. So after one 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve, the score: the Panthers nothing, the Raiders nothing, and we'll be back with second quarter action. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Welcome back to Mollenkopf Stadium. Scoreless first quarter between Warren Western Reserve and Warren Harding. Taking a look at the first quarter stats, Western Reserve dominating time of possession, 8:27 to 3:33. As far as total yards, 40 for Harding, 34 for Reserve, as the Panthers have had 16 rushing, 24 passing, Reserve 20 rushing, 14 passing.
On the third down and short yardage situation, Warren Harding picks up their third first down of the ball game. Harley Keller on the quarterback keeper, advances it inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers. Mentioning a couple of other excellent backfield men for Warren Harding. Doug Stubbs, of course, from the 1971 campaign. Go back to Jack Thomas. Jack Rogers, I should say, back in the 40s. Ball carrier into the 20 to the 19-yard line. Lenny Cernalka from the 1971 ball club. Jimmy Valentine. Second down, 5 yards to go for Warren Harding. The ball at the Warren Western Reserve 19-yard line.
Sam Pagano.
Eddie Kavesic. Got quite a few, and Willie Perez certainly right there with all of them. Second down, 5 yards to go. He has the football, breaks one tackle, 15. Perez to the outside, down to about the 13-yard line. That will be close to the first down. They'll mark it about, that's going to be very close to the first down. We will have our first measurement of the ball game.
Perez really should have been stopped about 4 yards before that, but the leg tackle just doesn't bring this guy down. He's got a tremendous second effort.
First down, number 4 for the Warren Harding Panthers. 10 minutes, 44 seconds remaining first half. And Warren Harding with the first serious scoring threat of the ball game.
Perez now 23 yards, 4 carries.
Lining up with the eye in the backfield, the deep man, Ruben Osborne. Osborne has the football, and he is hammered back at the 17-yard line. I mean, Robert Angelo. Play second down, 14 yards to go for the Panthers. Thought that one up here, Harry.
It really was a hard hit. That's one of those memorable ones. When you see it, you talk about it. Angelo just coming up untouched and leveling the ball carrier.
Second down, 14 yards to go. Less than 10 minutes remaining, second quarter. The Panthers at the Raiders' 17-yard line. Keller to throw. Keller fires over the middle, complete inside the 5. Down to the 4-yard line, close to the first down. Again, number 82, Stanley Owens on the receiving end. 15-yard completion, just about a foot shy of the necessary yardage. Third down, a foot to go for the Warren Harding first down. $9:15 remaining first quarter, or first half, I should say, as Dave Arnold will split about 10 to the right side. One back behind quarterback Hardy Keller. That's Woody Perez. Keller on the quarterback keeper, almost took it into the end zone. Went all the way down to the 1-yard line. That'll be first down number 5 for Warren Harding.
This has been a nice drive by the Panthers. They've mixed it up well. Great running by Perez. Keller with some nice passing. Owens on the receiving end of 2 of them. And it's been good for 39 yards in the passing category. And there you see the football just inside the 1-yard line. And the Panthers with 4 downs to try to push it in. There you see the football inside the 1. And the way Perez has been running the football, you'd have to think he may be the first one to get it.
Flag on the play, and we're going to have a delay of game against the Warren Harding Panthers. Big penalty against Warren Harding. That will move it back to the 6-yard line.
That's about the worst thing that can happen to you when you've got the ball inside the 1 to get the delay call. But again, 4 downs to get there.
Eight minutes, 20 seconds remaining second quarter. 1st and 6 for the Panther touchdown. Perez, the ball carrier, down to about the 3-yard stripe. Number 72, Andre Peterson, making the stop for the Panthers. Second down, for the Raiders. Second down, about 2.5 yards to go for the Panther TD. Looking for the first score of the ball game. Harley Keller, the quarterback. Keller to Perez for the touchdown. Willie Perez taking it over from the 2.5-yard line to score the first points of the 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve. Perez now in with a total on the year of 54 points, and the Panthers lead 6-0.
Well executed drive by the Panthers, establishing things early here. 7:44 remaining second period and getting on the board first after a nice drive.
Snap back fumble by Wade. He puts it into the end zone, but nobody there, and the conversion attempt by the Panthers is no good, but a flag on the play. There is a flag. We could have a roughing the passer penalty against the Raiders.
Boy, if it is, that'll be costly, and that's exactly what it is, roughing the passer against Western Reserve. Big mistake. That's going to be bigger than you realize, because that could mean 2 points, depending on whether the Panthers now going half the distance to the goal will determine going for the 2. That Warren Harding drive, incidentally, 65 yards in 11 plays. Time elapsed was 6:37. And it looks like the Panthers will go for the 2.
Leading 6-0. Hardy Keller, the quarterback. Perez behind him. Keller to put it up. No, that's to Perez, and Perez is in for the score. Got right to the goal line. That's all he had to get. And the penalty against the Raiders does come back to haunt them. The Panthers now lead by a score of 8-0.
Oh my, the penalties costly against the Raiders here in this contest. Not just on the extra points, but the Raiders enjoying good field position in that first period, but couldn't move the football because they were their own worst enemy. Here we see the replay of the extra 2, and Perez scoots in there, gets the ball over the goal line, and the Warren Harding Panthers take the 8-0 lead, when it could have been 6-0 except for the roughing the passer penalty against the Raiders.
So the Panthers draw first blood here at Mollenkopf Stadium as you look at Harley Keller. Getting set to put the ball in the air. Keller, of course, last year played his football at Southington High School. Also an individual for Warren Western Reserve that we've seen tonight, Robert Allen, did the same thing. Kickoff taken by Wade, 25, 30, 35. Tim Wade up to about the 37-yard line. 17-yard return for the junior running back from Warren Western Reserve. And the Raiders trailing 8-0. Have it first down, 10 yards to go. And again, Roselle Richardson out of the ball game. Injured in the first quarter. And at the helm for the Raiders, number 12, sophomore quarterback Mike Reese.
Mike Reese, certainly a capable quarterback. He zings the football, too. He throws it well. Maybe the diversity's taken out a little bit with Roselle out of there, but Reese certainly a capable replacement.
Reese to put it up. Flat, almost grabbed by John Richardson at the 43. Incompleted pass will stop the clock with 7:15 remaining in the first half and set up second down, 10 yards to go for the Raiders.
It's just a matter of, without Roselle in there, what it does to the Raiders psychologically. And they can't afford to let down. The penalties have been costly. Everything has pretty much gone against Western Reserve in terms of execution and, of course, the penalties. So they've got to regroup and try to get back in this ball game, because right now the Panthers seem to have the momentum.
DeRitza split to the left side. Man in motion is Allen. Reese getting protection, fires up, tipped up and almost complete at the 45-yard line. Panther got his hands on it, and DeRitza almost coming back to make the completion. But the incompleted pass will set up third down and 10 yards to go for the Raiders from their own 36-yard line.
Now the Raiders have come out throwing. They've thrown 6 times so far, completed only 2 for 16 yards, but they've also only run 8 running plays. So I think the game plan coming in was to play it a little wide open, get the short passes, just kind of march down the field that way rather than trying to stuff the ball into the sound defensive line of the Panthers.
Lining up in the I formation behind quarterback Mike Reese. Now shifting into the one-back offense behind the sophomore quarterback. Reese will keep the ball, has blockers. Reese up to the 40-yard line, but no more. 4-yard pickup on the play. An excellent defensive effort again by number 23, Kenny Ash, for the Warren Harding defense. So fourth down punting situation for the Raiders with 6:54 remaining second quarter.
Well, the Harding defense stiffening up now as the offense got them on the board, and now, as we mentioned, the Raiders need a break to see if they can't shift the pendulum a little bit.
Steve Henderson to do the punting from about his own 25-yard line. Perez and Osborne back deep. Spiraling kick that will hit at the 35, roll inside the 30, and be down at the 26-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. 34-yard boot, no return by Henderson, and the Panthers leading 8-0. Will have it first down, 10 yards to go. You know, before the ball game, always a pleasure to run into former athletes from either Warren Harding or Warren Western Reserve. We mentioned the name of Don Such. Well, Don came up to us prior to opening up the program, and of course Don doing an excellent job in the Paul Warfield day for Warren Harding. Always a pleasure to talk to a great out of the past. Perez, the ball carrier, across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. Willie Perez. 4-yard pickup on the play. Second down, 6 yards to go for Warren Harding.
There we see the last Harding victory versus Reserve was in 1981. Panthers trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. And as we mentioned, no team in this series has ever won 3 straight. Willie Perez has been the workhorse here tonight.
Again, he has the football, almost broke it to the outside. Tripped up at the 36-yard line by Andre Peterson. In fact, it's going to be close to the first down. And close enough for Phil Davidson to call for the change.
He's got 38 yards now and 8 carries. This one will be close. About 3 inches.
So the Panthers, 2 out of 2 in third down conversion attempts, will have an excellent opportunity to make it 3 out of 3 as you look at the Panther bench on the near sideline. This is, of course, a home game for Warren Hutting.
Good crowd on hand, considering the nippiness in the air.
Third down, inches to go from their own 36-yard line. Keller will, the quarterback keeper, pick up about 2 and pick up the first down for Warren Hutting. Number 6 in the first down category for the Panthers.
Well, just as the first quarter went to Warren Western Reserve, the second quarter dominated here by the Harding Panthers. The trouble is, as far as the Raiders are concerned, they did not get on the board in that first period, which they dominated. The Panthers here in the second quarter have taken over and gotten 8.
Ball carrier Reuben Osborne spinning his way up to about the 45-yard line. 6-yard pickup for Osborne. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Warren Hutting Panthers. Frank Thomas right now 2 objectives in mind. Number 1, of course, to put another score on the board before halftime. And number 2, just to use as much of that remaining 4 minutes and 20 seconds as possible in doing so.
There you see the stats on giveaways, takeaways. Reserve with +6, Harding +10.
2nd and 6. Ball carrier Brown going to be hit for about, he might have picked up a yard on the play. Third down, let's call it 3 yards to go for the Panthers.
Got to give credit to the Panther offensive line. They've done a great job of moving the Raiders out of there in the last couple series. And now with a 3rd and 2, you have to believe that again it'll be Willie Perez getting the football. At least that's been the pattern so far tonight.
Arnold will split to the left side. One running back, that is Perez behind Harley Keller. He has the football, has the first down, 50. Perez 45, Perez 40, Perez 35, touchdown, saving tackle by Alan Wade at the Warren Western Reserve 30-yard line. "23-yard gallop by Willie Perez. And the Panthers still with 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half. 1st and 10 at the Raider 30-yard line.
Well, the Raiders were expecting him up the middle, but Perez with a sidestep turned to the outside and almost, as you mentioned, turned it into a touchdown. 24 yards takes him up to 62 on the night.
Keller to throw. Keller getting time. Fires. Almost intercepted at the 18-yard line. Keller was decked by Sean Flowers as soon as he released the football, and Alan Wade almost coming up with his 7th interception of the 1984 campaign.
Well, Dave Arnold did a great job of hitting Wade. Here we see it. And Arnold he became the defender in that situation because it was Wade that had the position. Arnold coming in there and busting up the play. Otherwise, it would have been a Raider football on an interception. So there we saw an example of Dave Arnold's versatility. He can hit you.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. 3:02 remaining second quarter. The ball at the 30-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. Sweep to Alan Caldwell as a blocker. Turns the corner. Gets down inside the 25. Down to about the 21-yard line. That blocker he had ahead of him, number 9, Willie Perez. They're going to spot Caldwell on his first carry of the night. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. A pickup of 9 on the play. So 3rd down. And let's call it a long yard to go for the Warren Hutting first down.
The ground game very successful
for the Warren Hutting first down.
The ground game very successful so far tonight for the Panthers, and it's been led by Willie Perez with his 62 yards, but already we've had 5 different runners for the Panthers.
Perez is close to the first down.
Looks like he got it. He just needed to cross or get to the 20-yard line.
It is good enough for another first down for the Panthers, number 8 in the ballgame.
Another well-executed drive so far for the Panthers. They've mixed the pass and run pretty well. Willie Perez, of course, with the 24-yard gallop, setting up this good field position that they currently enjoy.
This will be the 11th play of the drive as Perez inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 6-yard pickup for Willie Perez. The clock down to 2:15 remaining second quarter. Warren Harding began this drive with 6:23 remaining in the half. And the Panthers still with all 3 timeouts remaining.
This has been great. This is the kind of thing you like to see if you're a Panther fan or Panther coach, as they've been running the time off the clock. They've dominated the second period, just as the Raiders had 8.5 minutes of possession in the first period.
Collar to Perez. Perez inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. 9th first down for Warren Harding. Willie Perez picking up 7 on the play. And again, Andre Peterson, number 72, making the stop for Warren Western Reserve. First down, goal to go for the Panthers with 1:40 remaining second quarter. Arnold will split to the right side. Robert Brown wing to the right side. Perez behind quarterback Harley Color. Perez with the football, gonna be hit, and look at that driving leg power of Willie Perez. Hit at the 6, worked his way down to the 4-yard line. 2-yard pickup on the play. Second down, goal to go for the Panthers.
He did that all by himself. I want to tell you, Willie Perez is having a night. He's getting some nice holes, too. The offensive line's doing a fine job, but we're seeing a great effort on the part of Perez. It's taking more than one man to bring him down.
1 minute exactly remaining second quarter. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Panther touchdown. Harley Keller to Willie Perez. Gonna be hit right at the line of scrimmage. So that time the blood defense waiting Willie Perez, and timeout indicated and called by the Panthers. That'll stop the clock with 47 seconds remaining second quarter. Big number 73 for the Warren Western Reserve defense, Carl Dunn, making the stop on Perez. First timeout called by Warren Harding as you look at Frank Thomas. He has accomplished one of his objectives. He's eaten up just about all of that clock that was remaining when we began the drive, back at his own 26-yard line. Now it waits for the second objective, and that is to score the touchdown.
Well, anytime you play a team like Warren Western Reserve, you want to try to dominate the football. Keep the ball out of their hands. It's an explosive type offense, especially when they had Roselle Richardson in there. Of course, Roselle injured now, but the Raiders still capable of throwing the long pass. And that's exactly, you know, Warren Harding in the second period here has dominated the football. They've had 2 long drives, and as you mentioned, what they want to have happen here is to cap it off with another score and go into the locker room with a 2-touchdown lead.
I'd like to pass on a couple of other interesting notes to you. For example, Jack George, the Warren G. Harding statistician, taking in his 150th game here this evening. 15 years on the job for Jack, and he certainly does an outstanding job in that capacity for the Panthers. Third down, 4 yards to go for the touchdown. Sweep, and gonna be hit way back at the 8-yard line as Reuben Osborne. Number 24, Derek Kelson, coming up to make the stop, and that will set up the decision time for Frank Thomas. 4th down, 8 yards to go for the TD, a loss of 4 on the play. Do you go for the 3-pointer, or do you go for the touchdown?
Given the loss, given the 3-yard loss, taking it back to the 7, you have to think they're going to go for 3 here. If it was inside the 5, you might think differently.
Now Harley Keller, there's the man that will kick the field goal if indeed the Panthers do go with the 3-point conversion.
And he's setting down the tee, so it looks like that's what they want to do. Go for the 3 here. Of course, the fact that you have your quarterback also as your kicker also gives you a little bit more versatility if you're thinking about a fake. Because Keller, of course, being the quarterback, they could have a play on here that could result in throwing the football.
Well,
so
Tony Wade doing the holdings, the backup quarterback, so two possibilities in that direction. Keller with one field goal on the year. That was against Niles McKinley back in the 5th game of the campaign. 39 seconds remaining in the half, and the Panthers will line up. It'll be the equivalent of a 25-yard field goal attempt. Wait to do the holding at about the 15-yard line. Angle off to the right for Hardy Keller. Ball is down. Kick is in the air, and the kick by Keller hits the right uprights. No good.
it had the distance, just hit the right upright and bounced away. Sometimes if you get the right bounce, it'll hit the upright and bounce in. But Keller wasn't that fortunate. And the Raider defense gets the break there.
That could turn out to be a big play in the course of this ball game.
Here we have a chance to see it again. There you see the boot. It just kind of hangs up there and boom, hits the upright. Back down it goes.
35 seconds remaining in the half, and the score remains the Panthers 8, Warren Western Reserve nothing. Your Raider fan could have been worse. Ball carrier Henderson up to the 25 to the 26-yard line. And it looks like Warren Western Reserve content to let the clock wind down. Quite content to be down by only one touchdown instead of two.
And yet at the same time, if they wouldn't have had the roughing the passer on the extra 2 points, it should have been 6-0. So a lot of different options available, but that's why the course of events have ended up the way they have.
5 seconds remaining in the half. Mike Reese calling the signals, and that will do it right there. That is the end of the first half. 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve. The score at halftime: Warren Harding 8, Warren Western Reserve nothing. And we will be back with halftime information, statistics, and both band performances for you. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Mighty music, light me up tonight. I can see the beat is burning bright, and every fantasy is filled inside a song.
As we mentioned, talking about premier bands from Northeast Ohio. Now time to be entertained by the Warren Harding Marching Band.
Stadium. We're back here at Mollenkopf Stadium. 8-0 our score. Warren Harding with the lead, and it'll be the Raiders kicking off to the Panthers. Cap.
Mike Reese on the kickoff, short kickoff. It'll hit at the 25. Roll and be picked up at the 20 by Alan Caldwell. Caldwell looking for the one on the near side. Gets up to the 25 on the hurl across the 30, up to the 32-yard line. That's how Richardson was hurt in the first half for the Raiders. That time Caldwell leaping over a would-be tackler at the 30 and picking up an additional 2 yards. As it goes, a 12-yard return. And the Panthers will have it 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
You know, we talked history in the series between these two teams, and normally it has been a rather low-scoring game. And so far, that's what we have with the 8-0 halftime score, and Panthers with the football.
Ball carrier Reuben Osborne. No, that's Robert Brown for a couple. Gets up close to the 35-yard line and stopped by the entire middle of the Warren Western Reserve Blood defense. Look for Roselle Richardson in the pre-second half warm-ups. We do not think he's out on the field. So Mike Reese, the sophomore quarterback, will be handling that position for Phil Annarella's ball club.
Well, if you're the Panthers here in the second half, ball control once again. They did a great job of it in the second period, trying to go to it again. Perez got most of that action.
Keller on the bootleg, 35. Keller 40, first down, 45, 46-yard line of Warren Harding. Might have got up to the 47-yard stripe. Now they're going to mark him down at the 46, so give him a 10-yard pickup on the play. And for Warren Harding, their 10th first down of the ball game.
Good deception by Harley Keller. We'll have a chance to see it. He made the nice fake and then had plenty of room running to his left. Picked up a little extra yardage here as you'll see him kind of hurdle for about 3 yards.
Good block by John Church enabled Keller to get to the outside. First down, 10 yards to go. I formation in the backfield. No, that's Caldwell again, the ball carrier, into Warren Western Reserve territory at the Raider 49-yard line. Be a pickup of about 5 on the play. And set up second down, 5 yards to go for Warren Harding.
Well, this is what the Panthers were doing so successfully in the second period. They're picking up the big chunks on the early downs, and it makes it easy on third down. They were looking at several 3rd and 1 situations in that first half. And, of course, Caldwell's 4 yards there makes it 2nd and 6 and sets things up pretty well for him here.
Arnold split about 10 to the near side. Perez, the ball carrier. Willie Perez stopped after about a yard pickup down to the 48-yard line. Yeah, in fact, they're going to mark his knee down back at the 50, so give him a yard loss on the play as Sean Flowers does the job for the Warren Western Reserve defense. Third down, let's call it a long 6 yards to go for the Panthers.
That looks like a passing down for the Panthers. They only put the ball up 5 times in that first half, completing 2 though to Owens for 39 yards.
Panthers 5 out of 5 on third down conversion attempts in the first half. Keller to throw. Keller with time, fires, incomplete, intended for Arnold. Dave Arnold quadruple team back at the 40-yard line. And that'll set up a punting situation for Warren Harding with 9 minutes 11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Warren Harding leading by a score of 8-0.
Well, you've heard the saying about the defense that bends but does not break. That's been the Raiders here. Panthers got in once, but on a couple of occasions when it looked like the Panthers had things rolling, the Raiders have been up to the task.
John Church with a low snap. End over end kick. It will hit at the 25. Roll inside the 20 and be down at the 19-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. 31-yard punt, no return by the Raiders. So that is where Warren Western Reserve will have their hands on the football for the first time here in the third quarter. Trailing 8-0 to crosstown rival Warren Harding.
Well, the Raiders not in good field position. They have not moved the ball well against Harding in the first half. We mentioned just 2 first downs for the Raiders.
Junior or sophomore quarterback Mike Reese calling the signals. Behind him, running back Steve Henderson. Allen in motion. Henderson for maybe 2. In fact, they're going to spot him down at the 22-yard line, so call it a 3-yard pickup for Steve Henderson. Second down. 7 yards to go for Warren Western Reserve, and big number 76 from his defensive tackle spot, Donnell White, 250-pound senior, making the stop. Second down, 7 yards to go. Vincent Galladay, who did not start this ball game for Warren Harding, back on the defensive side, playing at the left cornerback spot. Reese fumbles the ball, picks it up. Reese going to be hit and hit hard back at the 12-yard line. John Church coming in to make the stop. It'll be a 9-yard loss on the play and set up third down and long yardage for the Raiders.
That ball just slipped right out of Reese's hands. I think he made when he pulled it out of the stomach of the running back, it just popped out of his hands and then he couldn't recover. And again, the Raiders with a 3rd and long, and they've been looking at a lot of these tonight.
Warren Western Reserve 0 for 4 in third down conversion attempts in the first half. Allen in motion. Movement on the line. That'll cost the Raiders 5 and move them back inside their own 10-yard line. Timmy Wade jumping prior to the snap, and that's one of those things. We'll be hearing a lot of positive things about Timmy Wade next year. Only a junior and a fine talent for Warren Western Reserve. And Mike Reese wants to stop the clock. 7 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Raiders with third down, 22 yards to go from their own 8-yard line, and trailing in this ball game 8-0.
Raiders just 25 yards now rushing. Here we see points per game averages. Reserve 17.8 versus 13.9. Harding 13.9 versus 7.7. And that Harding defensive statistic there, the 7.7, certainly impressive, just allowing teams a little bit over 1 touchdown per contest. And of course, Cap alluded to the fact that 3 of their losses were by 4 points. To some fine competition in the Steel Valley.
Warren Western Reserve now with 56 yards in penalties. 6 flags on the play.
That's been costly. The Raiders haven't been able to look at third and short. They're always looking at third and what they're looking at now, 3rd and 22. And it's been penalties and lost yardage, like on the play that Reese fumbled the ball and got trapped for a 10-yard loss. They've tried 1 quick kick tonight. This is a opportunity to do it again, but you can't spend all night quick kicking.
Third down, here we go. Quick kick time. Henderson partially blocked again. It'll hit at the 30 and take a Raider roll across the 40. Picked up by Osborne, 44, and down to the 36-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. So that's where the Panthers will put it in play. First down, 10 yards to go. In fact, they're going to mark it at the 35-yard line of the Raiders. So a 9-yard return by Osborne. First down, 10 yards to go for Warren Harding.
Well, Panthers with excellent field position. They have not gone for the big play tonight, but when you've got this kind of position, they can often do that on first down.
High in the backfield, ball carrier Caldwell down to the 30-yard line. Caldwell with a 5-yard pickup on the play, and again number 72 for the Warren Western Reserve blood defense, Andre Peterson, making the stop.
Panthers have used the clock very well tonight. As we mentioned, in that second quarter, had close to 10 minutes of time of possession.
Down to the halfway mark of the third quarter. Second down, a short 5 yards to go. Ball carrier Osborne hit from behind. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. That will set up third and about 5. And again, number 34, Sean Flowers, making the defensive stop for Warren Western Reserve.
We've not seen Willie Perez too much here in the second half, as he's only carried the ball once.
Third down, a short 5 yards to go. Keller on the quarterback keeper, has the first down. Inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. A pickup of 7 on the play, and another first down for the Panthers, number 11 on the ball game. 5 minutes, 14 seconds remaining third quarter. Panthers leading 8-0, and Warren Harding on the move. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. High in the backfield. Ball carrier Reuben Osborne trying to work his way outside. Gets down to the 20 to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play. Second down, 5 yards to go for the Panther first down.
Osborne did a great job of getting those 5 yards. Looked like he was going to be pinned in, but made a nice cut upfield and then carried the tackler for about 3 yards. And once again, it's the Panthers getting 5 and 6 yards on that first down play making it a lot easier and making the play calling could be a lot more diverse for the Panthers in those situations, and it makes the Raiders not know exactly what's coming on.
4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining third quarter. Ball carrier flag on the play as Osborne fights his way for the first down to the 11-yard line, but again, a flag on the play. Bill Davidson will give us the indication, a motion penalty against Warren Harding, and that will nullify a 7-yard pickup for Osborne and move the ball very close to the original line of scrimmage back at the 23-yard line. So second down, 9 yards to go for Warren Harding as Arnold splits to the left side. Good shot from Joe Ceto on the near sideline. Keller rolling, a lot of room to run. Keller 20, Keller 15, Keller 14-yard line. Tony Stubbs bringing down Harley Keller, but not before the senior quarterback for the Panthers picks up about 8 yards. And he'll be about a yard shy of the necessary yardage. Call it third down, about a yard to go for the Warren Harding first down.
Well, just as Perez was picking up the yardage in chunks in the first half, it's been Harley Keller, the quarterback, who's come through. In his last 3 carries, he's picked up 12, 6, and 9 yards. So again, a nice diverse attack by the Panthers, and it's been mostly on the ground that they've been doing this. Panthers have only put the ball up 6 times tonight.
High in the backfield, ball carrier for the first down. Alan Caldwell picking up 4 on the play. Another first down for Warren Harding, number 12 in that category. And now the Panthers, an amazing 7 out of 8 in third down conversion attempts in the ballgame.
Well, if we analyzed it even further, I think we'd find that on those third down attempts, it's been third and less than 5 on each occasion, and often third and 1. So credit to the offensive line. They've done a great job on those first and second downs to create the nice short yardage plays.
First and 10, ball carrier Robert Brown for maybe 2. Got just inside the 10-yard line. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, and the Panthers have controlled the football up to this point in the third quarter for about 7 minutes.
Well, the Panthers, again, aware of the clock. They also have been here before. They want to avoid the mistake. Don't want to get the penalty that'll take them out of outside of the 10-yard line now that they've got it just inside.
Arnold will split 10 to the left side. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Panther. First down from just inside the reserve 10-yard line. Perez, the ball carrier, for maybe 2 down to the 7-yard stretch. Robert Angelo in on the stop for Warren Western Reserve. Along again with number 72, Andre Peterson. The older brothers Michael and Vince down at Youngstown State seeing plenty of action for the Penguins. Third down, 7 yards to go for the Panther. First down, 8 yards to go for the Panther TD. Panthers are in the same situation toward the end of the first half and came up empty. Let's see what happens this time around. Pitch to Reuben Osborne. It will not fool the Warren Western Reserve defense as we have a flag on the play.
I think we had an illegal block against the Panthers.
Osborne ridden out of bounds back at the 11-yard line, and if that is an illegal block, that'll cost the Panthers 15 if the Raiders take it.
Well, it might take them out of field goal range. It was a clip. And we're going to see it again. It's the old reverse, and well, there you see the clip and also the gang tackle by the Raiders. So we mentioned the fact they didn't want to get penalized down deep into Raider territory, and sure enough, the Panthers get hit with a 15-yarder. Maybe.
That'll move it back. They are going to take it back to the 26-yard line. And that'll set up third down and 25 to go for the Panther first down. Indication by Dr. Phil. 1:25 remaining third quarter.
Many mistakes in this game. The Raiders have had their share as far as the penalties, and the Panthers, when they've gotten close, just haven't been able to get the killer instinct and put the ball in.
Arnold about 12 to the right side. Stacked eye in the backfield. Harley Keller looking, firing, deep, incomplete. At the 5-yard line, Arnold, the intended receiver. No flag on the play, and that'll set up 4th and 25 for Warren Harding.
Arnold fell down. From what we could see, he fell down on his own. There didn't seem to be any contact down there, although there brought some groans from the Warren Harding side.
58 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Harley Keller's going to call for a timeout.
How well the Panthers have controlled the football in this third period, though. The Raiders have gotten nothing except minus yardage here in this third period.
But again, going back to the first quarter of the ballgame, that's exactly what that team right there did. Warren Western Reserve, they controlled the tempo of the first quarter, didn't put any points on the board. And the same thing here in the third quarter with Warren Harding.
Yeah, if you're dividing this game into quarters, so far it's Warren Harding 2, Warren Western Reserve 1. But the Panthers got on the board in that second period, and that's been the difference in this game, 8-0. But as you mentioned, Cap, the fact that the Raiders dominated in the first quarter but just couldn't get any points on the board has now come back to haunt them. But credit both defenses. They've been tough all year. And, of course, Warren Harding, as we mentioned, just allowing 7.7 points per game, has the shutout right now. There you see some, were those roosters sitting up there? Pigeons? We do have a capacity crowd, or a near capacity crowd, as those fans had to take refuge on top of the concession stand. And considering the weather, the Warren fans have stayed loyal to their two clubs.
4th down, 25 from the Warren Western Reserve 26-yard line. Keller to throw. Harley Keller with time, fires deep, has a man, incomplete. What a defensive play by Warren Western Reserve's number 24, Derek Kelson.
And Alan Wade, 21, got in on the act as well, and he's hurt.
And so's the intended receiver for Warren Harding down in the end zone. Had that touchdown written all over it before Kelson and Wade arrived on the spot. Caldwell, the intended receiver. And the Raider defense holds at their own 26-yard line.
This had all the makings of an immaculate reception. Watch it get batted once, twice, and if a receiver would have been in the spot, it could have been a touchdown. But fine defensive effort, though, by the Raiders to bat it away. Alan Wade and Derek Kelson right on the spot, saving the touchdown and giving the Raiders possession of the football. There you see a nice shot of the crowd. They've come bundled, but they've come en masse.
Those ball players still being attended to. When play is resumed, Warren Western Reserve will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. So toward the tail end of the second quarter, Warren Harding drives inside the 5-yard line of the Raiders, comes up empty. Here in the third quarter, drives inside the 10, and again comes up empty-handed and leading only 8-0. So still anybody's ball game. Alan Wade, leading interceptor on the year for Warren Western Reserve. And Alan Caldwell has done some superb running for the Warren Harding Panthers. Alan's dad, as we mentioned, excellent football player for Warren Harding back in the early 60s. Here we go. 1st down, 10 yards to go for Warren Western Reserve with 52 seconds remaining third quarter. Junior sophomore quarterback Michael Reeves. To Henderson, who's going to be hemmed in. A loss of about 3 on the play. Vincent Galladay making initial contact for the Warren Harding defense. That will set up 2nd down. Let's call it 13 yards to go for the Raiders.
Net yardage now for the Raiders, 39 yards. They've got 23 on the ground, just 16 passing. What a tremendous credit to that Warren Harding Panther defense.
Could be the last play of the third quarter. Allen in motion. Reese to throw. Reese looking. Reese firing the bomb. Underthrows the intended receiver. Wade tries to come back for it. Incomplete at the 45-yard line.
That slipped out of Reese's hands.
Well, that'll set up third down, 12 yards to go, and we will have one more play in the third quarter with 3 ticks remaining on the clock. Raiders 0 for 5 in third down conversion attempts.
As we mentioned, just 2 first downs for the entire contest, and both occurring in, I believe, that first quarter, certainly in the first half.
Third and 13. Reese again to throw, getting backside pressure. Fires the football, incomplete, intended for Robert Allen up at the 35-yard line. So that'll set up a fourth down punting situation. That will occur in the fourth quarter because we've completed 3 here at Mollenkopf Stadium. The score: Warren Harding 8, Warren Western Reserve nothing in the 17th meeting between the Panthers and the Raiders. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes of tonight's contest. But first, we're going to pause for this message.
Warren Harding. Warren Western Reserve in a punting situation deep in their territory. Panthers should end up with good field position. And we've just got 12 minutes left to go in this one.
Henderson to do the booting from his own 10-yard line. High spiraling kick. Fair catch indicated and grabbed at the Warren Harding 49-yard line by Reuben Osborne. .28-yard boot by Henderson. No return by the Panthers. And to start the fourth quarter, Warren Harding will have it. They'll have the lead at 8-0. And the Panthers in the third quarter controlling the ball for over 9 minutes of quarter number 3.
It's been amazing. The time of possession is really now on the side of the Panthers. It wasn't that way in the first quarter, but Warren Harding has put together some fine drives, but they only have the 8 points.
Osborne for a couple inside the 50 down to the 47-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Reuben Osborne. Second down, 6 yards to go for the Warren Harding Panthers.
Taking a look at those third quarter stats, Harding with 140 yards rushing, 37 passing for 177 yards. Reserve with 20 yards in the rushing department and 16 passing for 36 yards. Penalties 5 for 35 Harding, 6 for 56 Reserve. Time of possession is 20-30 Harding, 15-30 Reserve.
Keller to throw. Keller getting time. Fires into the flat, incomplete. Robert Brown, the intended receiver at the 42-yard line, but plenty of pressure applied by the Raiders. Number 88 from that defensive line, Brian Mead, along with number 77, Dan Lygaber.
Another lopsided statistic in after the third period. 12 first downs for Harding to 2 for Reserve. You know, as I'm watching this unfold here in the second half, Willie Perez has only carried the ball 2 times after having carried it 13 times in the first half, and he had 79 yards at the end of the first half and has just picked up 2 yards since then.
3rd and 7. Keller to throw. Fires deep. Has a man, incomplete at the 32-yard line. Intended receiver Stanley Owens. But good defense provided by number 48, Paul Elijah. And a flag on the play, I believe, at the line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line, holding the indication against the Panthers.
Yeah, this is one they may decline, though.
That will set up the 4th down punting situation. We'll look at it again, Harry.
Here we see Keller dropping back, throws a nice ball across the middle, just a fine defensive play. And ball falls incomplete. The holding penalty is declined, and the Raiders will get possession, assuming they handle the punt cleanly.
John Church to do the booting from his own 41-yard line. Nice kick by Church. Fair catch indicated. Fumble picked up by the Panthers at the 32-yard line, the 22, I should say.
Flag down.
But a flag is down. Let's see. Don't know who picked it up for Warren Harding.
It may have to do with the fair catch. It appeared as though it happened right at the spot. Not a matter of clipping on the return or anything like that. So we'll try to get an indication here. It's going to be interference, interfering with the catch on the Panthers.
That is a big break for Warren Western Reserve. Looked like Kenny Ash recovered the muff punt.
See if we can pick it up. It's a high booming kick, and at the bottom of your screen it looked like there was a little bit of contact as number 32 Robert Allen tried to field it. So Western Reserve with a big break here.
That'll move it all the way up to the Warren Western Reserve 36-yard line. So the Panthers, instead of having the ball at the 20-yard line of Warren Western Reserve, Raiders have it. First down, 10 yards to go with over 11 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. And the Panthers leading the Raiders by a score of 8-0.
Is this an appropriate time to repeat the fact that the officials are assigned by the Steel Valley Conference, ladies and gentlemen?
Good shot of sophomore quarterback Mike Reese. Richardson split to the left side. Wade the man in motion. Reese looking. Reese into the flat to Timmy Wade, incomplete. Vincent Galladay providing the defense for the Panthers. Incompleted pass will set up second down. And 10 yards to go from the Warren Western Reserve 36-yard line.
Now the Raiders have had trouble moving the football. A lot of it, of course, Warren Harding defense putting a lot of pressure. And as we indicated, minus yardage so far for the Raiders here in the second half.
Dave DeRizza split to the left side. Allen flank to the left side. Second and 10. Reese to throw. Reese firing. Complete up to the 40-yard line. About a 4-yard pickup to Robert Allen. That'll set up third down. About 6 yards to go for the Raider first down. Warren Western Reserve still looking for their first third down conversion attempt of the ball game.
Here we see it. As Reese goes back, a nice block there thrown by number 23, Steve Henderson. And the completion for 4 yards. It's a start. The Raiders haven't had a completion here in the second half.
10 minutes exactly remaining fourth quarter. This is the 17th meeting between these two Warren high schools. Allen in motion. Reese breaks one tackle. Reese not going to break the second, but he'll pick up 2 yards. He'll be about 4 yards shy of the necessary yard. Number 61 for the Warren Harding defense, Dimitri Leogas, had a shot at Reese back at the 35, but Mike breaking that tackle. Did pick up a couple, but that will set up a fourth down and a punting situation for Warren Western Reserve. 9:25 remaining fourth quarter. And timeout indicated by Mike Reese. Second timeout of the second half for Warren Western Reserve. It'll stop the clock with 9 minutes 17 seconds remaining in the ball game. And there you see the score. The Panthers leading the Raiders by that 8-0 count.
Well, in the battle for field position, it now becomes imperative that the Raiders get a good kick here. There you see the Panther cheerleader. Showing some exuberance there with their 8-0 lead. But getting back to the contest with 9:17 left, and the way the Panthers have moved the football using the clock this entire game, the Raiders need to pin them back there deep if they want to have a shot at this game, because all the Panthers would need to do would be to put together a drive similar to the couple of the drives that they've had in this game, and they will have eaten up 6 to 7 minutes of that clock. There you see Frank Thomas having a few words. And believe me, that was not a restaurant list that was pulled out of the official's pocket.
See how many pinch hitters he has left.
Well, Frank Thomas was a pretty good baseball player in his day, but I don't think that's what he had on his mind.
And his brother Checky, of course, the baseball coach for Warren Harding. They're going to go for it. 4th down, about 4 yards to go from their own 42-yard line.
This is a surprise.
Mike Reese, the quarterback. Long count, and timeout again called by the Raiders. Tried to pull the Panthers offsides. Did not work, and that will be the 3rd and final timeout of the second half for the Raiders.
Who was that, Cardinal Mooney or Ursuline? I think it was Ursuline that was so successful in doing that. Going up there, lining up, thinking that, or at least, no, I know they were going into the shotgun, though. It wasn't a matter of lining up to go for it. They'd go with the quarterback lined up underneath the center, then shift into the shotgun, and twice pulled the Panthers offside.
That play still bothers me, the shift by Ursuline. I was always under the impression you're only allowed to send one man in motion on a play, even on a shift. But Ursuline had about 5 guys going at the same time. And Bob Church, you're an official in Trumbull County. Let's pull you in. Is that a legal formation that Ursuline was using?
Yes, it was, Cap. As long as they're set for 1 second before the snap of the ball, it's fine.
In other words, you can send as many men in motion as you want to, as long as they are set 1 second before the snap.
That's correct.
What's your impressions of the first 3 quarters of play here, Bob?
Excellent defense on both sides. It's a case of who scored first has a good shot to win the ball game, and Coach Annarella there tried to draw the Panthers offside. I think if it was me, I got to kick the ball away, hope the defense holds, get a turnover somewhere down the line, and put the ball in the end zone.
They're going for it again.
4th down, 4 yards to go from their own 42-yard line. High in the backfield, shifting with Robert Allen moving off to a wing. Mike Reese going to be hit and hit hard at the 41-yard line. Went to the short side of the field, and the Panther defense equal to the task. Jimmy Bell in on the stop. Donnell White, Travis Davis, I should say. I got Green Bay on my mind for some reason when I see Travis Davis. Outstanding football talent for the Warren Harding Panthers, and the Panther defense gives the offense right there excellent field position at the Warren Western Reserve 40-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in the ball game. Woody Perez down to the 35, to the 34, to the 33-yard line. 7-yard pickup for the senior running back from Warren Harding.
When you think about it, it really was not that bad of a call by Phil Annarella, because the way the Raiders have played defensively, he probably figured, well, we'll take our chances. If we can get the first down, then we can keep the drive going. On the other hand, he figured our defense has done it all game, and we'll call upon them one more time to see if they can't stop the Panthers.
2nd down, 3 yards to go. There's Keller again on that very effective quarterback keeper that he and Frank Thomas have used so effectively during the course of the ball game. A pickup of 8 on the play, and that is the 13th first down of the ball game for Warren Harding.
Keller's got 42 yards now and 7 carries, and you mentioned half of those have been as a result of the quarterback keeper. Not supposed to be a big yardage play, but he picked up a clutch first down in the first half and another one here in the second half.
Ball spotted right at the 25-yard line of Warren Western Reserve. Less than 8 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Keller to Alan Caldwell, running room, 25, 15-yard line. Close to the first down. And close enough to once again call the chains in from the far sideline.
Boy, what a hole for Caldwell. Panther offensive line has been good all night, and this time they show it again. They just blew everybody out of there. Good trap blocking, and Caldwell close to the first down. I thought he had it, but let's see, given where the ball was marked, it'll be close.
You got it. First down, Warren Harding, and that is number 14 for the Panthers from the Warren Western Reserve 15-yard line.
Well, the Panthers have been here before, haven't they? But the penalty has been costly, and that's taken them out of the range a couple of times.
Once in the second quarter, twice in the second quarter. Once they did convert into the only touchdown of the ball game. Once in the third quarter. And here in the fourth quarter, running group, Perez inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 6-yard pickup for Willie Perez, and Willie starting to rack up the yardage very close to that century mark. 94 yards and 18 carries on the ball game for Willie Perez. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. Second down, 4 yards to go for Warren Harding.
That's looking good for the Panthers if they can push it in here the way that defense has played. It'd be tough for the Raiders to come back.
6:45 remaining fourth quarter. Color again on the quarterback keeper. This time Sean Flowers has hold of him. Nevertheless, Color picks up 2 more down to the 7-yard line, and that will set up third down. And about 2 yards to go for the Panther first down. Following the blocking of number 75, Travis Davis. And Davis really has had an illustrious career here at Warren Harding. 3-year starter for the Panthers. Number 75, 250-pound senior. Third down, 2 yards to go. Keller to Caldwell, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, close to the first down at the 5-yard line.
Boy, Caldwell did it on his own there. Didn't look like he was going to even get back to the line of scrimmage, and he gets the first down.
Eight out of 11 in third down conversion attempts for Warren Harding. Certainly has to be their best figure of the year in that category.
There you saw him break 2 tackles and get the first down, spinning his way through there.
First down, goal to go. The ball at the Warren Western Reserve 4-yard line. Keller to Perez, close to the goal line. They'll have Willie Perez. Let's see where his knee's down. Put the ball down at about the 2-yard line. Second down, 2 yards to go for the Panther touchdown.
Well, you have to think Perez will be the ball carrier. His, well, he did go for -1 and 0 yards, but most of his yardage has been in chunks. And with the great second effort that he shows, he's the logical man to get the football. Of course, the Raiders think he is too, probably. So
4:55 remaining fourth quarter. Keller to Perez for the touchdown. Willie Perez with his second TD of the ball game. It comes with 4 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the contest. The score: Warren Harding 14, Warren Western Reserve nothing.
Well, go for 1 here. Might as well make it 15 and force the other team to go for 2 twice, I suppose. And that is the strategy employed by Frank Thomas.
Look at Tony Waite, the holder, on the extra point attempt. Ball is down, kick is in the air, and the kick by Keller is good. 4 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the ball game. Warren Harding on a 40-yard drive in 7 plays. And Willie Perez with his second touchdown of the ball game.
That drive, 40 yards, 8 plays, 4:21 the elapsed time. And the Panthers in the driver's seat now, 15-0 lead, 4:51 left in the game. And given the fact that the Raiders have not been able to move the football in the second half very well at all against the Panthers, you have to believe that given the, unless Western Reserve would complete a long pass here early or get a kickoff return for a touchdown, the Panthers are definitely in good shape here to win this one and break the 2-game winning streak that the Raiders have over the Panthers over the last 2 years.
Keller has the ball almost perpendicular on the tee. And his kickoff is a squib kick. It'll be fielded. It'll be fumbled around and finally fallen on back at the 23-yard line by Warren Western Reserve. Robert Angelo falling on the ball at that point, and first down, 10 yards to go for the Raiders. And Warren Western Reserve certainly with their work cut out for them at this juncture of the ball game. 4:45 remaining fourth quarter, trailing the Panthers 15-0.
Raiders have not been real successful with the pass so far tonight. They've thrown 10 times, completing just 3 for a total of 20 yards. 2 of those completions were Roselle Richardson's in the first quarter. So since Reese has been in the game, it's been 1 for 6. But in defense of him, he's felt some heavy pressure.
Reese to throw. Reese firing over the middle, has John Richardson up at the 40-yard line. 17-yard completion to John Richardson. Third first down of the ball game for the Raiders. Clock down to 4 minutes remaining in the ball game.
Here we see it again. Reese does a good job of staying in the pocket, and look at that hit by the Panthers. Richardson on the receiving end, but paid for it.
First down, 10 yards to go. Allen, the man in motion. Henderson going to put it in the air. Fires the ball. Incomplete. Intended receiver number 40 on the play, Todd Meyer. The defender, Reuben Osborne, slipped down and fell at the 40-yard line. And if Meyer grabs that one, he's going the remaining 40 yards for the touchdown. But the pass incomplete to stop the clock with 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the ball game. And 2nd and 10 for Warren Western Reserve.
Well, that's the variation of the quick kick, really. I mean, there was just a simple pitch back to Henderson, this time throwing the football. Multi-talented. He can run, throw, kick. In that situation, his receiver fell down. He throws a pretty good football, though.
Richardson split to the right side. Timmy Wade in motion. Reese with time. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. Hit your brother in the wrong part of the anatomy, Bob Church.
Yeah, he's good at grabbing people with his hands and kicking the ball with his foot. That time it was so wide open he couldn't believe it.
Almost had the pickup.
Here we see it again. Not sure who. Oh, I see who the intended receiver was. 44, Tim Wade, but it was underthrown.
Second, make that third down, 10 yards to go. Actually, John Church, an excellent baseball player. Just one of those situations where he tried to run before he had full possession of the football. Reese to throw. Reese blindsided, fumbles the football. Back at the 30 to the 29-yard line. Recovered by the Warren Harding Panthers. Jimmy Bell coming up with the loose football. And Mike Reese really hammered on the play. And let's see what's happening up at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, we had a little tussle there.
I don't know who hit him. But somebody really coming up with a big hit on Mike Reese.
I saw number 51 bust through, I thought.
Look at it again.
That would be Doug Barnhart.
No, wrong side of the score sheet.
Oh, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be Doug. Now, there is no 51 there.
No 51 on the Warren Harding program, but that's who hit Mike Reese, causing the fumble. Sweep time. Trying to get outside, does so. 25 down to the 20-yard line. Robert Brown, the ball carrier, a pickup of about 8 on the play. Second down, 2 yards to go for the Warren Harding first down. And the clock inside 3 minutes remaining in this, the 17th meeting between the Warren Harding Panthers and the Warren Western Reserve Raiders. Keller sweep the other side. The Caldwell has a block up. Perez cuts inside, picks up the first down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 6 by Alan Caldwell, and again Willie Perez, showing you the versatility that he has as a ball player. throwing the key block to enable Warren Harding to pick up their 16th first down of the ball game.
Well, this one's history, don't you think?
Just about. Panthers will snap the Raiders' 2-game winning streak. Record their 6th victory of the campaign. Now they're going to try the near side with Willie Perez. Does not have blocking, and he'll be ridden out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Flag on the play, however. So let's see what the infraction is. Perez lost about a yard on the play. It is a motion penalty against Warren Harding. Paul Elijah, the defensive co-captain for the Raiders. Interesting call. It'll either be 2nd and 11 or 1st and 15 for the Panthers, and apparently Warren Western Reserve will give back the down to take the 5 yards and move it out to the 21-yard line. Seventh penalty against the Panthers for 55 yards in the ball game. Arnold will split to the right side. Ball carrier inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line.
I think we're going to have holding against the Panthers, though. That ball,
Keller, the ball carrier, flag at the 15, and
take it back. I think it's going to be a face mask now.
That's exactly what it is against Warren Western Reserve, and that will move the ball half the distance to the goal line. Boy, that quarterback keeper play has just been excellent tonight for Frank Thomas's ball club.
They must have seen something in the films, because they certainly have taken advantage of it. Keller, a fine athlete, and moving off his right guard, has been taking advantage of that hole.
7 penalties against the Raiders for 61 yards tonight.
Yeah, there we saw the grabbing of the face mask, which gives the Panthers the ball inside the 10 now with 1:58 to go and a 15-point lead.
High in the backfield. Harley Keller fumbles a snap back, still shovels it out to Perez, who's going to be nailed back at the 12-yard line. Loss of 6 on the play, 2nd down, 16 yards to go. 2nd down, make it 12 yards to go for the Panther touchdown. One minute, 25 seconds remaining in this one. Keller again, this time down to the 10, maybe to the 9-yard stripe. Paul Elijah making the stop for the Warren Western Reserve blood defense. A pickup of 3, 3rd down, 9 yards to go for the Panther TD.
Well, you have to give the Panthers a lot of credit on offense. They dominated the football game, took away the game from the Raiders because they spent so much time on the field. And then defensively, when the Raiders did have the football, the Panther defense just stuffed them, and it's just as simple as that. Warren Harding, the dominant team here tonight.
Ball carrier Perez, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown! Willie Perez, 3rd touchdown of the ball game. It comes with 29 seconds remaining in the contest, and again, following the blocking of Travis Davis on the right side. That will make it a 21-0 score in favor of Warren Harding.
There we see it again. Willie Perez, as he has done all night, breaks a couple of tackles, bulls his way into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the evening. He's now got 108 yards, 21 carries, a super night for Willie Perez.
And Harley Keller to attempt the extra point. The ball is down, the kick is in the air, and the kick is good. 22-0. Warren Harding with the victory here this evening. 29 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Not much else you can say. The Panthers played great football in the second, third, and fourth quarters. Reserve had their opportunities in the first period, but penalties kept them from scoring. And once they couldn't get that accomplished, the Panthers took over, and Willie Perez has had himself a night. And not to be overlooked is quarterback Keller's night, who has picked up 42 yards on the ground in 10 carries. And in the passing category has completed just 2 passes, but they were good for 39 yards. And when the story is written on this one, they'll also point to that fine defensive effort that the Panthers have put forth, holding the Raiders to 24 yards on the ground.
Keller with a kickoff. It'll be fielded by Henderson at his own 12 to the 15, looking for the wall on the far side. 20, 25, flag on the play. Flag at about the 25-yard line. Robert Brown making the stop for Warren Harding, and Brown will be back next year for the Panthers. Half the distance. The Raiders, I think it's a clipping penalty against Warren Western Reserve. Yep. 23 seconds remaining, and this is the 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve. Both ball clubs, Harry, next year with some outstanding talent coming back.
Well, that's true. There are some underclassmen that we'll be looking forward to seeing. Of course, the quarterback in this game for Western Reserve was the result of Roselle Richardson being injured. Mike Reese will be back, and he's just a sophomore.
Reese looking at the clock. He will not have enough time for the final play, and there it is. The whistle indicating the end of the ball game, and the final score from Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren, Ohio. In the 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve, this one belongs to the Panthers by a final score of 22-0. And we'll be back with our post-game comments. But first, we're going to pause for this message. And up and the Raiders by the final score of, there you see it, 22-0. This is the way the scoring went in the ball game. First quarter dominated primarily by Warren Western Reserve. But at the end of the first quarter, when the gun had gone out, the score, the Raiders nothing, the Panthers nothing. Warren Harding started a drive toward the tail end of the first quarter, and 6 minutes 37 seconds later, with 7 minutes 44 seconds remaining in the first half, Willie Perez culminated a 64-yard drive. From the 2.5-yard line, Perez went in for the touchdown. On the extra point attempt, Panthers went for the single-point conversion. The snap was over the head of the holder, Tony Waite. By the time Waite picked the ball up and tried to throw it into the end zone, he was decked by a Warren Western Reserve defender. Roughing the passer, moved the ball half the distance to the goal line. Panthers converted. Perez ran it in for the 2-point conversion. That made it 8-0 in favor of Warren Harding. What looked like a key drive for the Panthers began with about 6.5 minutes remaining in the half, when Warren Harding started a drive at from their own 26-yard line, got all the way down to the Warren Western Reserve 4-yard stripe, but on 3rd down and 4 yards to go for the touchdown, the Panthers tried to sweep the left side. The Raiders rose to the occasion, dropped the ball carrier for a 4-yard loss. At that point, Harley Keller attempted a 25-yard field goal. It hit the right uprights, no good, and that's the way the first half ended. The Panthers 8 and Warren Western Reserve nothing. Panthers dominated the third quarter, as had Warren Western Reserve in quarter number 1. And again, when all the smoke had cleared at the end of 3, there had been no scoring in the quarter, and the score remained the Panthers 8 and the Raiders nothing. But in the fourth quarter, Warren Harding really putting it all together. 2 drives. The first one, a 40-yard drive, after the Raiders tried on a 4th and 4 situation from their own 40-yard line, failed to come up with the necessary yardage. Woody Perez scored his second touchdown of the ball game 4 minutes and 21 seconds later at the 4:51 mark, culminating a 40-yard drive in 8 plays. Perez this time from the 2-yard line. Harley Keller on the extra point was good. That made it 15-0 in favor of the Panthers. And just for good measure, Frank Thomas's ball club put on one more on the board with 29 seconds remaining in the ball game. And again, Willie Perez, his 3rd touchdown of the ball game, scored 20 points tonight to move him to 68 on the course of the 1984 campaign. Perez from the 9-yard line, 29-yard drive in 6th place, and again Harley Keller converting to make it a final of 22-0 in favor of the Warren Harding Panthers. And here with the team and individual.
In the rushing category, Warren Harding 213 yards rushing to Warren Western Reserve's 21 yards passing. Harding 3 of 9 for 37 yards, Reserve 4 of 13 for 37 yards. Right even there, but the big story, of course, was in the rushing category. Total yards, Harding 250 to Warren Western Reserve's 58. It was a penalty marred ball game, as Harding with 7 penalties for 55 yards, Reserve with 7 for 61 yards, and in the first down department, Harding with 17 to Western Reserve's 3. But then the time of possession, a very important stat here tonight. It was dominated by the Panthers 28-25 to 19-35, and a significant stat compiled by Bob Church. Last 36 minutes of the game, Western Reserve had the ball just 11 minutes and 8 seconds of those 36 minutes. Taking a look quickly at individual statistics, it was Willie Perez night here, no question about that. If there was an MVP, it had to be he, as he came up with 108 yards and 21 carries. Harley Keller, not too far behind, well, fairly far behind, but he had a good night with 42 yards on 10 carries. And Alan Caldwell had 38 yards on 8 carries. Western Reserve's leading rusher was Steve Henderson, who in 7 carries picked up 26 yards. So, quite a ball game for the Warren Harding Panthers. In the first period, it appeared as though the Raiders were going to be the dominant team, but Panthers turned it around and had 3 great quarters of football, led by Willie Perez's 3 touchdowns. Cap?
Let's bring in Bob Church. Your final comments on the ball game, Bob.
Excellent defensive ball game. Harding finally put the offense together. You got to think, Cap, what if Roselle Richardson would have stayed healthy? He's an excellent athlete, excellent basketball player. He can do it all. He's the catalyst as far as the Raider offense goes. Mike Reese did a nice job. You can't take nothing away from the sophomore, but the Raiders go as Roselle goes, and without him, they're kind of lost. But you got to take your hat off to the Harding defense. They've been there all year, and they were again tonight.
You're going to tell your younger brother Johnny about how to catch properly those intercepted passes?
I'm going to tell him the easiest way to avoid looking silly on camera is to fall down when the ball comes by, and that way you don't look silly by dropping it.
6-4 for the Panthers this year, their first winning season since 1978.
Best 6-4 team in the state of Ohio. Before we get off the air, Cap, I won't be here tomorrow night for the Niles-Howland game. I'd like to thank you and Harry for putting up with my crap and letting me in the booth, and anything I can do as far as cable Pilot 9 goes, or anything you guys need, just let me know and I'll be glad to help.
Done a super job for us, Bob, and gonna miss you tomorrow night. Harry, your final comments on tonight's ballgame?
Well, amen to Bob Church. He's been a big help to us up here in the booth with the stats and so forth. And as far as final comments on this one, it was a big victory for the Panthers. They maintained that streak of none of these teams being able to beat the other more than 2 times in a row. And the added incentive, of course, carried the Panthers to victory. And it's good to see the Panthers on the other side of 500 for the first time, as you mentioned, since '78. So good contest, typical of Warren Harding, Warren Western Reserve, and that they really go at each other. This time it was dominated by the Panthers. Next year, who knows?
I'd like to pass on a couple of more comments. We mentioned the fact that Jack George, with his 150th ball game this year, the statistician for Warren Harding, his counterpart at Warren Western Reserve, Gary Bertini, currently completing his 5th year in that capacity for the Westside Warren High School. And Sue Kindleberger, the assistant to the AD at Warren G. Harding, personal friend of Harry Patis's, in her 200th consecutive game.
My 9th grade English teacher.
That about wraps things up. And there's the man who's really given us a lot of cooperation this year and every year, the athletic director for the Warren City School System, Pat Giuliano. Super job. That does about wrap things up. The 17th meeting between Warren Harding and Warren Western Reserve. The Panthers, with their 7th victory of the series, wind up 6-4 on the 1984 campaign. Warren Western Reserve 5-5 on the current season. Final score, there you see it, the Panthers 22, Warren Western Reserve nothing. So speaking for our cameraman tonight, Mark Pinion, Joe Sabat, Bob Delida, our producer Mike Sophis, our engineer Mike Sparacino. Thanks to his excellent help to Bob Church and my sidekick Harry Patis. I'm John Caparanus, inviting you to have a good night, sports fans.